right, this was pretty interesting. Did you see this today from the Surgeon General? He says that alcoholic beverages should have labels saying that they cause cancer, kind of like what we see with cigarettes. And it's true, drinking alcohol does increase that risk. But would a label make you think twice? Earlier today, I asked someone with UNC's Cancer Center about it. Joining me now is Dr. Seth Noor, a professor at UNC's Hussman School of Journalism, a member of the Cancer Prevention and Control Research Program at UNC's Cancer Center. Dr. Noor, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So this announcement from the Surgeon General feels kind of obvious. I mean, there's a general understanding that alcohol is bad for you, but is there less of an understanding about its link to cancer? I'm wondering why this announcement was made now.
Great question. I think the reason it was made now is that studies have been undertaken and the evidence has been growing, and it got to the point where the evidence has become very strong that alcohol causes cancer. In fact, in the report, they lay out how alcohol is linked to 7 different types of cancer, and they go on to show that a majority of Americans do not know this. And so I think this was the reason to put this report out now.
So the Surgeon General saying that about 45% of people are aware that alcohol increases the risk of cancer. So most people aren't aware. That number is also 89% when it comes to tobacco and it's linked to cancer, and 91% with radiation and it's linked to cancer. I'm wondering, are those numbers higher with cigarettes and radiation because of labels in some way? But I'd also like to mention a bit of a caveat. The same research shows that 53% of people are aware that obesity increases a cancer risk. And I'm wondering, where do the labels end? Should they be on unhealthy foods, processed foods? Should they be everywhere?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that people are not going to know things if we don't communicate and raise awareness about things, right? And so people think about cancer, think about causes of cancer, at least the preventable causes, people may think about things like radiation and smoking, right? 2 of the factors that are very strongly related to cancer and cause cancer. But I think the average person doesn't think as much about things like obesity and, in this case, alcohol. And so communication campaigns, labeling, warning labels can help raise awareness and really let people know, increase public understanding. And then, it's going to be up to people if they want to drink, if they don't want to drink, how much they want to drink. That's going to be up to the individual. But at a minimum, the idea is let's let people know the facts.
When it comes to labels specifically, though, do we know that they work?
That's a great question. What I always like to say about warnings and warning labels is, do they work? The answer is always, it depends. And so the short answer would be yes, they do work. But I say it depends because it depends on how they're designed, right? Just because you put a warning on a product doesn't mean it's going to work. But it depends on what's the size of the warning. Is it placed prominently on the product where people can see it? Does it have imagery that accompanies the text? So there's several factors that affect that. If you look at the current alcohol warnings, they seem to be designed in a way that probably makes them not work. They are small print. They tend to be on the back or the side of the alcohol container. And I think this is why the awareness of this is so low. Now, the current warning doesn't mention cancer. It mentions something about health problems, right? So we also need to have a warning about cancer specifically. But the effectiveness is affected not only by what it says, but where it's placed on the product.
All right. It'll be interesting to see where all this goes. Dr. Noor, thank you so much for your insight and your time tonight.